All right, so in this lesson, we are going to write the standard form of a linear function given a graph of its solutions, given a graph. So I'm basically going to give you a graph, or you will be given a graph, and you'll have to figure out how to write this for it. So there are a few different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you a way that you'll be more likely to remember. So standard form. Remember that A, B, and C are all integers. Which means like 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3, etc. And A is special because usually it's positive, so it's usually not negative, so positive. Now, does this stuff really matter? Kind of not, but this is just how you'll see it most of the time. And don't forget that A, B, so we'll do like that, A, B, and C. There's no common factor. No common factor. Well, besides 1, right? But we all know that these are all prime, basically. So, well, let me take that back. That's not true. It's just, you can't divide them all by something. Like you can't divide them all by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5. You can't just divide them all by something. Other than 1, of course. So, let's figure out how to turn this. Let's figure out how to turn these into standard form. First thing I'm going to do is change this to y equals 1/3 x plus 5. I'm going to do that first. Now I'm going to get rid of this fraction because there's no fractions like in this, right? So I'm going to multiply the entire, well, both sides, but I like to do it like this, the entire equation by 3. So we get 3y. So multiply by 3, and then you're going to multiply this term, and then you'll multiply this one also, okay? So 3y equals 3 times 1 is 3, divided by 3 is 1, x, and then 3 times positive times positive is a positive, 3 times 5 is 15. Cool, not bad. Now I need my x's. I'll just write it right here instead of scrolling up a bunch. Ax plus by equals, there it is, by equals c. So I need my x's and my y's on the same side. Right now the y's are lonely over here, so minus 1x. These can't go together, remember? Their x's and their y's, they don't mingle. So we put minus 1x plus 3y equals positive 15. Now, it looks like we're done, right? But remember, the convention is that this a is positive. So a is positive. So to make it positive, I need to multiply my entire equation by -1. So -1 has -1 is a positive 1. A negative times, I guess I'll do like this too. So a negative times a negative, negative times a positive. A negative times a positive is a negative. And then we'll do the 15. Okay. So a negative times a positive is a negative 3y. And a negative times a positive is a negative 15. So remember, we can technically box it here. We don't usually leave this one, so we just go x minus 3y equals negative 15. Okay. There we go. Cool. Let's do it again. So y equals 4/5x minus 2. So first thing, get rid of this fraction, times 5. well, I'm going to show it differently, like I do sometimes. Multiply both sides by 5. So that means I'm going to multiply 5 times y and 5 times this and this. So 5 times y is 5y. These are all, this is positive 5, so just I'm good with that. So positive times positive is positive. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Positive times a negative is a negative. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, cool. I need my x's and my y's on this left side over here. So minus 4x. So negative 4x plus 5y equals negative 10. All right, now remember that this, it looks good, but this, the convention is that this is positive. So I need to multiply both sides by negative 1. That looks like an exponent. Don't forget to multiply everything. So the negative 4y and the positive 5y and the negative 10. So a negative times a negative is a positive. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. As you can see, I can't divide any of these by the same number other than 1. Like I can divide this by like 4 and 2, but I can divide this one by 4 or 2. I can divide this one, like at that point it doesn't even matter. So I'm good to go. Let's try this one. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus, the x is not even there, see? Just automatic. So plus 1/5x. So I have two fractions. Remember, if I want to get rid of both at the same time, I divide by a common multiple. So 15. 3 goes into 15, 5 goes into 15. So I want to multiply both sides by 15. A little too close to that other one. All right. Don't forget to multiply everything. So a positive times a positive is a positive. A positive times a negative is a negative. So 15 times 2 is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. A positive times a positive is a positive. 15 times 1 is 15. 15 divided by 5 is 3x. Cool. Now I need my x's and my y's on the same side. So minus 3x. Minus 3x. So those don't go together, so I'm going to write negative 3x plus 15y equals negative 10. Now I need to check this. Okay, that's negative, so I need to multiply everything by negative 1. Fun, right? Right. Don't forget to multiply everything. So a negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. All right, cool. One more, because this one has decimal. Let's say we end up like this. Well, that's 2/10. Remember, you can just go to Desmos. You can just go to Desmos and go to the calculator and type in 0.2, and it'll give you the fraction. If you click the little fraction thing, it'll give you 2/10, which is 1/5. Now, if you don't know, go to Desmos, type this in, do this, or you can just, this is 2/10, so 2/10, and divide by 2, and you get 1/5. Either way, there are ways of getting that, right? So y equals 1/5 x plus 3. Now I assume that you know how to do this, or that you can do this. So I'm going to change something here, okay? I'm going to make this a negative, okay? This negative 0.2. So I'm going to make this a negative, just to make it a negative. Okay, it wasn't a negative, make it a negative. So that would make this a negative. So when I multiply everything by 5, we get 5y equals 5 times, well, positive times a negative is a negative. 5 times 1 is 5, divided by 5 is 1. And then 5 times 3 is 15. Now when I do that, right here when I move this, or when I get rid of this 1x here, I end up with 1x plus 5y equals 15. You see how this is already positive? That means I don't have to multiply by a -1 here. I'm just good to go. X plus 5y equals 15. All right, so let's figure out how to use this, or let's use this.